So today I'm really excited to give you a little tutorial on design positioning with your Husqvarna designer machine. And I've got my designer Ruby right here, and I'm going to show you a little tutorial that's in the manual that they tell you to do. But I'm going to tell you how I would do it, how I go about using the design positioning. And sometimes it's easier just to see it done. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and sit back on my Ruby and go to the menu. And there's a little design built in so you can get your lesson in. It's right there. It looks like a little puzzle piece. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is take this and just move it up into the far corner of my hoop. I'm going to go ahead and press go. I'm just going to stitch it out really fast. Okay, so now it's all done, and it's asking me, do I want to clear the screen? And I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and press the X. And it's going to move my hoop into position again to sew it right in the exact same spot. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is go in to design positioning, and this is the little flower with the directional buttons around. And you can see how now you have an arrow or a bullseye right on part of your design. So what you want to do is go ahead and press step number 1, and this is where you set your point. And what you can do is you can zoom to your design, or zoom to your point, I'm sorry, zoom to hoop, let's zoom to your hoop, and go ahead and set our point right up here, close to this little scallop shape, because you can create completed tulip designs. And what I'm doing right now is going and setting my point where I want to go. And now I'm going to go ahead and zoom to my point with this button right here. And I can see I'm almost on that point, but not quite there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and go again. And I'm close, but now what I want to do, since I'm so close, is go ahead and use these directional buttons and fine-tune that point right to where that joint is, and you'll see why in a second. So it looks like I'm all set up right there. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and press step 2. So now I have locked in my point, and right now when I move on my screen, what I've just done is zoom to my hoop using this button right there. It's going to go ahead and move my hoop. So now I can join this embroidery to the one I've already done. So I'm going to go ahead with my stylus and zoom, zoom, zoom. So now what I'm trying to do is connect this bullseye point to the point in my already stitched out design to the corner. And you'll see what I mean. I'm using the fine-tuning buttons. And what I'm going to do now, since it looks like I'm pretty close, I'm going to go ahead and drop my needle down and see. And I'm close, but I'm not on it yet. So I need to go ahead and raise my needle, because if you don't raise your needle and you try and move it, you get a command, raise the needle. And you can allow the needle to be lowered while you move it, but that's a really easy way to ruin a needle, break one. So go ahead, raise your needle, and then go up a little bit. Look like I need to go up. And this is where you're fine-tuning, lower and raising your needle using those fine-tuning points. And it looks like I am right on that point. So now I'm going to go ahead and press OK and stitch this out. So that's design positioning with one embroidery point. Now if you want to get super precise positioning with design positioning, you can go ahead and go into steps 3 and 4. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So I'm not going to clear my screen this time either. I'm just going to go ahead and press the X. And I'm going to go back into design positioning. And now what I'm going to do is, since I'm working on the sides, I'm going to go ahead and set my point, go to step 1 again, because you need to just start all over. Set my point over here, and then I'm going to zoom to my point using this button. And I'm going to go ahead and move it right to the joint of the flower, and then I'm going to fine tune it with my buttons, directional buttons. right there. That's perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and jump straight down to step 3. And now what I can do is I have another directional button. Or actually no, I need to go ahead and complete step 2. Move this over. I'm going to zoom to my hoop using this button. I'm going to go ahead and zoom. I'm trying to connect these two together as close as I can, just using my eye and the hoop. Now I'm way off. Oh, I'm close, so I'm going to go ahead and start using my directional buttons. And as you drag, the directional buttons start to move the hoop moving faster. I'm past a little bit. Closer. Now I'm going to go ahead and go over. Go up. Oh, almost there. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to jump to step 3. And I get my second bullseye point. And what this is going to do is enable me to choose another point on the embroidery to get super precise positioning. So I'm going to go right to the corner and go ahead and zoom to my hoop, zoom to my point, place it right on that corner. Now I can start using my fine-tuning buttons. And it looks like I'm right there at the corner. Now when I go to step 4, you'll notice that the top and bottom directional buttons disappear. This is because now instead of choosing the positioning, you're choosing an angle. So what I'm doing right now, and I can see, oh, even though it looks like it's right on, I'm going to go ahead and press it right, tilting it just a little bit to give me perfect positioning. And you can kind of see how it's tilted ever so slightly. Now, why would you ever want to use a second point in design positioning? Well, if you've had a problem and you had to stop an embroidery and unhoop it, and then you need to finish out the embroidery after you've rehooped it, you could go in and choose 2 already stitched out points, and using the 2-point system, you could finish out your design. And I have done that myself personally, so I know it works. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is just go ahead and press OK. And go ahead and press start. So now that you've seen how I do design positioning, I'm sure that you'll be able to figure out how to use those little design positioning points on those endless embroideries that you've probably wondered, how in the world am I going to connect these together? It's all about dropping your needle down, finding your already stitched out points, and matching them together. And so you'll know how to do it with this little tutorial. And I hope this gives you confidence in design positioning, because these machines, with the capable of design positioning like this, it's a really amazing thing. And I hope you utilize it, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.